Good morning with my posy son in the background there. It's so funny. Okay, good morning. So today I wanted to do a really quick live and talk to you about people leaks. People leaks are leaks that are coming from, profit leaks that are coming from all of the people that are in your business. This could be employees, it could be subcontractors, or it could be consultants. So we're mostly talking about employees and subcontractors at the moment, and I'm thinking about companies that are employing staff, probably have quite a lot of staff, and people who are employing subcontractors. So they're kind of working on an agency model. So we're looking at the three biggest profit leaks that comes from dealing with people. And I probably should have turned my notifications off on my computer, so you can probably hear that pinging in the background. But hey, let's carry on. So there are three common people leaks whenever we look at a client's business, or we talk to people who are struggling to make the profits that they really want, so they can't take home the cash that they really want. And often there are three really common leaks surrounding their people. Number one is that they're overstaffed. They simply have too many people to do the job that needs to be done in the business, and there's not enough cash in the business to then pay for them. So maybe they've got over 40% people costs compared to their sales. So for every pound of sale that they make, 40 pence goes towards those people. In some instances, we've seen clients with 50% people costs. Now, it could be that you have too many people in the business doing the work, and maybe they're taking a bit too long about it. Maybe you're overstaffed. Maybe there's just too many bums on the seats in that business. Or it could be that you're simply not generating the revenue that you expected to receive. So you've got the right people, you just haven't got the right revenue. So challenge number one is that you're overstaffed. And the question is, do you know whether you're overstaffed or not? Are you measuring your people costs as a percentage of your revenue? And are you keeping an eye on that and keeping track of those costs? The second most common one is overpaying staff. And that happens, again, more often than you might think. So it could be that you've given the staff pay rises. It could be that you've attracted expensive staff in. It could be that you're paying consultants or subcontractors a day rate, and it might be more cost effective to have employees. There are so many pros and cons with whether to have employees versus subcontractors that I'm not going to go into here today, but it's something to be mindful of if you think that your costs of the people in your business are way too high and you need to do something about it. So you've either got to go and bring in more revenue to pay somebody else's wage, which is not your wage, or you need to start looking at bringing more efficiency into your business to reduce your wages costs, your people costs. The third one is overworking. And this is a funny one, because overworking is more to do with the cost of quality of people. So they might be doing too much. They might be doing stuff that's outside their comfort zone. They might be doing things that they don't have proper policies and procedures for. So you've got two or three people doing the same thing, but they do it differently. Maybe one person does it really quickly. Maybe one person takes half the day to do something that you would expect them to do in an hour. There's the challenges of bringing in trainees and apprentices and training them up. So you've got to invest time and effort in bringing them in the first place, but it's going to pay off in the long term. But in the short term, you've effectively got two people doing the same job. And then what happens when you've got people that they're not motivated, or they're a bit confused about your objectives or the company goals? They don't really know what their role is in your business. Now, sometimes people can be demotivated, they can be frustrated, so they come in, they do their job, they go home, but they're not really committed to helping you move your business forward. They're not as vested in it as you are, and that's a frustration. So you're sort of cracking the whip, you're banging the drum, you're trying to get more done and more out of your staff and your contractors, but they're frustrated and they're agitated, and they're just not committed. I mean, that doesn't happen very often. It's not often that you see a workforce that's really unhappy in a small business, but it can happen. So what can we do to keep our workforce motivated, excited, interested, invested, and almost as excited about your goal as you are? What can we do about that? How can we motivate them to be more productive, more efficient, more profitable? And that all comes down to partly to do with the company goals and making sure that they're all committed in the same way that you are to achieving the same goal, and how we're rewarding them for achieving that same goal, which might not just be all about money. And it's also how we're covering and how we're quality managing what they're doing. So there's a cost to quality. So if somebody makes a mistake, or if somebody's taking twice as long to do something as you reasonably think it would take them to do it, how are you managing it? How are you monitoring that? And how are you rectifying that? Because every time something goes wrong in your business, every time one of your team members done something wrong in your business, it costs you money. It reduces your profit, either in lost customers or in replacing what they had to do, or redoing work, or having to fix problems that shouldn't have occurred in the first place. So these things happen when there aren't enough quality controls or aren't enough documented procedures, and people just aren't trained to do things in your way. So culture in a really tiny business is almost as important as it is in a really, really big business. Now, years and years ago, I moved all the way from Northamptonshire, where I grew up, down to Suffolk, and I went to work for Hewlett-Packard. Now, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I loved the people, I loved the business, my bosses were absolutely brilliant, most of them. And HP had this thing, there's even books on HP and how HP developed this culture. It was, everything was done the HP way. So the culture was set at central office and it was disseminated downwards. So everything we did, the way we worked, the way people were managed, the way processes were managed, the way bonuses were managed, the way systems were rolled out and talked to people, was all done in exactly the same way. Exactly the same way, filtered down across different countries, different hierarchies, different types of business. The culture, the HP culture, was the same wherever you went. And it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. And you can incorporate that into a small business. You can think big, even if you've got a small business. You can encourage your employees, you can motivate them, you can help them grow, you can build them, you can get them invested in your goals and your objectives and the things that you're trying to achieve with your business without it costing you a fortune. And obviously, the more your revenue grows and the more contribution they have to that, the more profit you create. Now, with any other cost, including your people costs, your people should be contributing to either making sales, retaining customers, or doing things that you can't do, or keeping things efficient. So there must be a value added to what they do. And again, the challenge for you as a business owner is how you're measuring that contribution on such a small scale. I mean, I often hear that we just don't have time for that. We don't have time to think about that. We don't have time to put employee enrichment programs in. We don't have time to, do proper development and training and this kind of stuff. But it's so important if you want to get the best out of your team of people, whether they are internals or externals. They're all part of your team. So that is my 2 penneth worth today on the 3 most common people leaks that are costing you money. It's either that you are overstaffed, you are overpaying, or you are overworking, and each of those has a profit leak in your business. Time to fix it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our video today. So please give me a thumbs up if that was helpful. Be sure to subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube, or follow us if you're following us on Facebook. And let me know your takeaways, your questions and your suggestions. And I hope you have the most fabulous, amazing and profitable day. Now, if you are watching us but you're not a Profit Hacker member yet, this is exactly the kind of stuff that we talk about in our Profit Hacker membership. And this week is no different. We'll be talking about people leaks and going into a deep dive on what you can do to stop these common people leaks. So if this is something that's affecting your business, pop over to go.ksalon.co.uk/profit-hackers and come and join us in Profit Hackers. We look at something different every week, a new strategy to bring more profit into your business. It shouldn't be too difficult to contemplate, to think about, to integrate into your business. And we're there to answer all your questions and work with you to make profit happen. So pop down and see the link below, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.